And Stephanie.
And welcome to Epcot. We're excited to be here today because we're finally going to make our first round around this year's 2019 Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. And I'm hungry and excited. How about you?
Yeah, this is actually going to be like a dinner time vlog for us. So we are starving and we're really excited to see what this year has to offer.
Yeah, we didn't make it out for opening day. We're usually like opening day for all of these festivals. This year it just didn't work out, but we're still within the second week here of the festival and excited to bring you along as we try out some of the new items this year, some of the items that we liked from last year to see if they're just as good as they were last year. So come along with us as we go feast on some of the food here for the 2019 Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. So we've made it to our first stop here at Flavors from Fire, and it's here that we're gonna try the charred chimichurri skirt steak on a smoked corn cake with pickled vegetable slaw and cilantro aioli, and this was $7.
So everything coming out back here smells so good. You can certainly smell that smokiness. This looks really good. Let's see how it tastes. I love this. Now I'm going to tell you why. The steak itself has a great chimichurri flavor. I was kind of concerned, if it would be tough or tender, just depending on, putting out so much, but it's very, very tender and it's got a lot of flavor to it. The corn cake's got a nice smokiness to it, but it's also not too dry. It's got a nice consistency and you can certainly taste the corn in there. And the whole dish as a whole, I really like it. The flavor is there. They did a good job with this one.
All right, so I got a bite with a little bit of everything. Got some of that skirt steak on there, that smoked corn cake underneath, and then the pickled slaw. And I gotta say, last year, this was one of my favorite dishes, so I'm hoping that it holds up to as good as it was last year. And yeah, it definitely holds up to last year. I gotta say, there's all these different foods around the festival here. Some of them are more like side dishes than entrees. Some are, there's a lot of desserts. What I feel about this one is it's got a little bit of everything. So it's got the steak, it's got the corn cake, so you've got the carbs and the protein, and then the salad on top, the slaw on top. It's delicious. It's almost like a small meal, and I think for $7, it's a great deal. There's at least 5 or 6 hunks of steak. That smoked corn cake is delicious. I love the smoked flavor coming through. And that aioli on top, a perfect topping to it. This is a great start here for the festival. Next, we've made it to the Earth Eats booth, and it's here that we're gonna try the Impossible Burger Slider with wasabi cream, spicy Asian slaw on a sesame seed bun, and this was $5.25. All right, it's time to try this Impossible Burger Slider. It looks delicious. If you've never had an Impossible Burger before, this is a plant-based protein from here at the Earth Eats booth. We've had Impossible Burgers and have been very impressed by them the times that we've had them. Never had it here at the festival though, so let's give it a try. So here's what I taste the most of when I taste that, and that is the wasabi cream that's on it. Wasabi already is kind of strong. It can be, on your palate, it can be really strong. I don't think it's too strong. It's just that's the flavor that I overwhelmingly taste. Don't really taste the Asian slaw. The burger itself, while I do think could pass as meat for some people, wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It doesn't have a ton of flavor. I think I saw them, they're cooking it on kind of a flat top over there. I think if it was cooked on a grill, kind of over fire, like over at Flavors from Fire, it would probably be way better. So I think that the preparation might have made this one a little bit of a miss. Overall, I think it's okay, but I don't think it's something that I'll get here again at the festival this year.
Alrighty, as you can see, Cory already took his sample. It's my turn. I'm gonna have to agree with Cory on that one. Now, I've had the Impossible Burger outside of Disney, and it did have more flavor. This, it doesn't really have a lot of flavor, so it comes across as pretty bland. I would also agree that wasabi flavor is pretty strong, so if it's not something that you're a fan of, that's pretty much all you're tasting. The Asian slaw, unfortunately, doesn't have a lot of flavor either. One thing I would have liked to see, I would have liked to send cheese on the burger. And I know here at this booth they do offer a mozzarella because they have it on the other dishes that they serve here. There's just not a lot of flavor in this dish. Even the bread itself is a little on the dense side and kind of just overpowers everything that they're already putting on it. So this one might be a miss for me also here at the festival.
Our next stop is here at the Cheese Studio, where we're going to try the maple bourbon cheesecake with maple bourbon cream, caramel, and pecan crunch for $4.25.
Alrighty, so Cory and I actually remember this one from last year, and I'm excited to try it this year. Cheesecake actually isn't even at the top of my favorite desserts, however there's caramel on that and that makes everything better. So let's see how it is this year. That is extremely smooth, probably made even smoother in the fact that it's starting to melt out here because it's so hot. The bottom has a very nice cakey level layer that's like really like thin, but it's nice because it's not, you know, too thick that you're not enjoying it and really getting the full flavor of the cheesecake. The cheesecake is very rich, but it's very smooth, which is nice because the pecans on it offer a nice crunch. Overall, this is very tasty. I'm excited that we got something sweet to try, given all the other items we've already had.
We finally made our way back to the World Showcase, and new this year in the Canada Pavilion is the Apple Seed Orchard, and it's here that we got this. This is the frozen apple pie. This is a non-alcoholic beverage for $4. All right, so we're back here in the Canada Pavilion. I have to say, this new apple orchard area here is really awesome. They're using the theater where they had the 360 Canada show. That is what they're using right now. You can see in the video all set up with the cider available in there. There's the apple popcorn available, and then also this, and this is that frozen apple pie. It looks really good, and I'm excited to try it because it smells so tasty. I'm gonna try and drink it without the spoon first. Wow, that's delicious. It's like a frozen apple juice with this crumbled topping on top. It does taste just like a frozen apple pie. Really tasty, very refreshing, not overly sweet, which I say when I really like things, sweet stuff, I like it when it's not overly sweet, and this is not overly sweet at all. A delicious, perfect, refreshing drink, especially on days when it's really hot, because it's only going to continue to be hot here for a while at Epcot, but very delicious. I would highly recommend this one.
Alright, so Cory really liked this one. I'm excited to give it a try. I was a bit of a skeptic when I picked it up from the window because part of me thought maybe it's just some frozen apple juice, but he really seems to like it, so let's see how I like it. Ooh. First glance, when you get a real big spoonful, I know he drank it, but it's got hunks of apple down inside of it, and that's an awesome start for me. Let's see how it tastes. That is so good. Cory's right. It very much does taste like an apple pie. It's got the real big chunks of apple in there. The cinnamon flavor comes through very nicely. And they didn't oversweet this drink, which is really nice because sometimes when you get these dessert drinks, they kind of put a lot of sugar in there and it just overpowers. But this doesn't. It's got the crumbles on top just like a real apple pie. This is really a winner here.
Next, we've stopped here in Ireland to try the warm chocolate pudding, and this has Irish cream liqueur custard and looks absolutely delicious for $4.25.
So this warm chocolate pudding is exactly that. It is warm to the touch. When they gave me the plate, I could feel the heat. I could see them preparing it. It seemed like it was coming out fresh. It looks really good. Let's see how it tastes. Now I love a good chocolate, and this is really good. It is rich, so you know, if you were here or somebody wanted to split a dessert, this would be a good option. The cake itself is very spongy, which is very nice. It holds its shape when you go to sample it, but the pudding, like all the sauce and everything that's on it, very nice and sweet flavor. I like this one also.
So we've made it back here to the France Pavilion, and it's here that we're gonna try the croissant escargot. And this is an escargot croissant filled with garlic and parsley, and this was $5.75. All right, let's give this croissant a try. And I really like that. It's a nice buttery, flaky croissant. It actually is filled with the escargot on the inside. You can see it, and some of that parsley and garlic on the inside as well, and then just kind of spread over the top. It's really tasty. Could be a little warmer. I think if it was a little warmer, it would be even better. But overall, I think the flavor is really good. It could use more of the snails on the inside. There's not that many of them. It looks like only a couple of them that are kind of cut up small. But overall, I think this is tasty. For $5.75 though, is it the best value for the dollar? I'm not really sure, but I think the flavors are good.
So Cory's really excited for me to try this. At least somebody is. I don't usually make a point of eating creepy crawlies, and he put like the biggest one right towards the front of the croissant, so he made sure I had to try it. I will be very honest, the whole thing, I mean, the presentation, it smells good. The parsley and the garlic on top doesn't even look appetizing to me, even though I like those seasonings. We'll see how it tastes though. Here it goes. It's so chewy. I don't really know what to compare it to. It's almost got the consistency of like a mushroom. Thankfully, it doesn't have a super strong flavor, and just the parsley and the garlic is all I'm really tasting with the buttered croissant. I don't say I would get this again, just because for the price, $5.75, you're really not getting a lot, because that one bite, now the filling is all gone. It was very interesting, but I'm excited to try something else now.
So our next stop's back here in Japan, where we're gonna try the frothy ramen, and this looks really interesting. It's chilled noodles with dashi broth with a light foam topping. Kind of interesting, a chilled noodle ramen soup. Let's see how it tastes. All right, there's really no easy way to try this. Just gotta dive right in and get some of that ramen. And that's delicious. Again, I know a lot of people are gonna be thrown off a little bit by the fact that it's chilled, but you go into it knowing that it's gonna be chilled, so the flavor of that broth is so good. I remember back at one of the previous festivals, I believe it was the festival, maybe the Flower and Garden Festival, that there was a broth here, a noodle soup that was so delicious. It was really, really good, and this has a very similar, if not the exact same broth. The noodles are cooked perfectly. The foam really doesn't have a flavor, just kind of like a different texture on top of there, but there's like some ginger in there. Overall, everything in this is delicious. I'll have this again next time we're here. It is a little bit pricey, I think, at $6 for a little thing of soup. I think the one at the previous festival was a little bit bigger too and more filling, but this is delicious. Italy has always been one of our favorite booths here at the festival, and we just stopped off and picked up this, which officially is called the Costini di Maiale, something like that. And I'm sorry, I know I probably butchered that, but this is basically balsamic glazed and oven roasted pork ribs, and they look really tender, and a nice big portion too for $8.
So for $8, I cannot believe how much meat you actually get. It's very, very heavy, but it smells super good. Let's see how it tastes. There's a lot of flavor in that. The balsamic glaze is very nice. Gives it a bit of a tang. It's got a nice char on it, and they did a good job with the slow cook oven roasted enough to keep it a little on the tender side. It's hard to say because I did get an outer bite. I'd like to get a little bit deeper in there just to make sure it's not overly dried in the center. No, that's got really good flavor. The pork is really nice, cooked nicely throughout. I still can't believe how much you get for $8. I'm telling you now, you probably want to share this one with somebody. This is a lot of meat.
So we stopped off into China to get our bubble tea fix, and we loved this last year, so we got it again. This is the mango bubble tea with black tea and milk, and this was $6.95. All right, so I love bubble tea, and I loved this last year. I will say, I think it's a little more expensive this year than it was last year, but it's a little pricey on the $6.95 end for a drink, and there's no alcohol in this drink either. But what I will say is for a non-alcoholic drink here at the festival, it's quite large. I mean, this is like a full-size drink that you would get at one of the other, stands here in the World Showcase. So it is a full-size drink. I love mango bubble tea. Let's give it a try and see if it's as good as it was last year. And just as good as it's always been. Delicious, nice, creamy, milky bubble tea. A little bit of mango flavor coming through. And those delicious tapioca pearls. Traditional bubble tea tapioca pearls. Everything that you want and expect from a bubble tea. Absolutely delicious. All right, so that was our first trip here to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival this year, and I thought it was a great time. How about you?
It was an awesome time. We definitely overate. It was fun sampling everything, but I'm pretty full now.
That seems to be a common theme when we come here and make these videos, is that we overeat. Some new items this year that were delicious, and some items that we've had before that were delicious. Really nothing that was a big miss except for that Impossible Burger that didn't have a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely missed the mark, but for the highlights for me, I would have to say that frozen apple pie.
Oh man, I forgot about that already. That was so delicious.
It's got to be up there, because I tell you what, when I come back, that's the first thing I want to hit. I thought it was extremely refreshing, great flavors, and a very good idea and something different.
And the whole setup for that is really cool back there in Canada. Yeah, it's beautiful in there, and yeah, that was delicious. The skirt steak with the smoked corn cake, so good. Really, really delicious.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite items, mainly because I thought the corn cake itself was really good. It had like whole kernels of corn in it. Very, very good flavoring. The steak was perfect. Definitely want to have that again also.
And I've always loved that, what was it? It's the maple bourbon cheesecake. It's so delicious, and I love butter pecan, and it almost has like a butter pecan type of flavor to it. Really delicious. Everything, I can go on and on. Everything we had tonight. Oh, that frothy ramen chilled soup.
Yeah, that was actually really interesting. I was kind of nervous because like the frothy ramen didn't sound that appetizing to me. But the idea between a cold noodle, it is a little different, but the flavors were there, and I thought it was actually kind of interesting also.
Really good. And that's it for us here tonight from Epcot. Guys, we will be back here many, many times over the next few months. I'm sure we'll do some streams here too, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe below for more like it, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.